What's up guys, how's it going? Welcome to this new video. Today I've got 8 new games for your Android phones. It's been a while since I uploaded games and a bunch of new ones piled up. The next video you see will probably also be new games, but for now enjoy this. They're pretty entertaining and definitely worth trying out. Hope you enjoy the video. Alright then, let's jump into the games. We start this list with a parkour game called The Floor is Lava, and the floor is literally lava, so you absolutely can't fall or you'll burn. There's also something interesting. Your character is tiny and placed in a regular room, so every obstacle and parkour section happens among toys and household furniture. Something I found cool is that it's not just non-stop parkour. At small checkpoints, you'll have to unlock barriers using characters who ask you for different objectives, like bringing them a piece of fruit or collecting coins or diamonds. And not only that, some enemies show up and make gathering items tougher. It's definitely a game that keeps you entertained and makes you want to reach the end of the room. For spot number 7, we have a video game with a very laid-back atmosphere. It's kind of an adventure game, but along the way it gives you life lessons. What you have to do is open doors by finding different keys throughout the level. Every time you open a new door, you meet characters who tell you things, experiences, life lessons, and they also give you some challenges so you can open the next doors. The gameplay is the typical 3D platformer style, where you move through the areas, find keys, collect coins, and keep progressing. Actually, now that I think about it, it's very similar to the previous one. The only difference is that this one feels more polished, more premium. It even has native controller support. And the most interesting thing is that it has a very relaxing vibe. Don't think it's an action-packed game that's going to keep you on edge. On the contrary, it's a game that will relax you and give you a calm experience along with some good life lessons. Definitely a recommended minimalist game. For spot number 6, we have an open-world video game that works as a life simulator. In this life simulator, you'll have your house, your vehicle, and your job. Your vehicle is a small motorcycle you'll use to make a few deliveries around the city, even take some passengers as if you were a taxi. With that, you'll earn money, and with this money, you'll be able to buy new motorcycles or upgrades for the one you already have. Along the way, you'll need to keep an eye on your fuel. If you run out, just head over and refill. You also need to watch your phone's battery, and if it dies, you can use a power bank or go back home to recharge it, since it's what you work with. Once you've saved enough money, you'll be able to buy all kinds of decorations for your home: furniture, interior decorations, exterior decorations, and keep on living and working. It's definitely a very entertaining game with very nice graphics recommended. For the number 5 spot, we have a simulator-style video game where you'll pilot 3 types of vehicles: combat jets, combat helicopters, and combat ships. The missions are quite varied. Some are reconnaissance missions, rescue missions, or even attack missions. You'll need to learn how to operate all 3 vehicles, as each one has its own control style. Not every mission is packed with action. As I said, it's more like a simulator. There's a campaign with different missions, and there's also a free mode where you can play however you want and with whichever vehicle you choose. It's very entertaining and looks great, but as I said, it's not purely a battle and action game. There are also missions where you simply have to operate your vehicle. I liked it. Recommended game. For spot number 4, we have a Sandbox style video game that I really liked because it's funny. Sandbox games are known for 2 things: a physics system that's usually ragdoll based, and the versatility to create absolutely anything you want. You get tons of objects you can use. Keep in mind this game is very new and made by a small developer, so it's still growing, but the foundation is quite solid. You control a character that's basically a test monkey of sorts. You can put this character in all kinds of awkward situations, falling off a mountain or having fun on a water slide. You can spawn jetpacks, objects, and even some other characters like you, and enjoy 5 different scenarios with different features. For example, there's one where the goal is simply to throw yourself from the highest point possible, and there are plenty of things to crash into. Another one is filled with objects, one is set in the mountains, and then there's the water park. It's definitely a very good game, and it looks like it will only get better. For now, it's lightweight, doesn't require internet, and since it's not overloaded, it runs on less powerful devices. Recommended game. For spot number 3, we have a video game that initially left me really impressed and I was all excited playing it. The game is a new Resident Evil released for mobile, but it doesn't have much to do with Capcom. At first it looks way too good, almost like you're playing a classic PlayStation 1 Resident Evil. If you ever played one of those PlayStation 1 gems, you'll feel totally connected, like you're basically playing the same thing. Up to this point, everything was great. You could control your character like in a top-down view game. The environments changed, just like in the PlayStation 1 Resident Evils, and some of the familiar puzzles were there too. Everything looked promising, but unfortunately, it's kind of a trick, because once you get into the actual game, it turns into a sort of resource management title, where you have to grow your city, recover stuff, build bases, and then when you jump into combat, the fights are fully automatic. You just pick the characters, and they battle on their own. And the exploration gameplay, well, honestly, it barely shows up. It's not a bad game if you see it as a resource management title, but it's a terrible strategy to lure you in with that initial gameplay, stir up your nostalgia, and then hit you with the harsh surprise that the game has nothing to do with what you thought you were playing. Basically, it's like many mobile games that slap on the title of a famous franchise, throw in its characters, but end up being something completely different. If you see it as a Resident Evil game, I definitely don't recommend it. If you see it as a resource management game with Resident Evil characters, then yes, I do recommend it. Anyway, for spot number 2, we have WWE 2025 Netflix Edition. Just by hearing Netflix Edition, you should know you'll need your Netflix account, and if you don't have one, you won't be able to play this gem. The game is really good. You can play simple matches, tournaments, and best of all, team battles with your friends. You can create a private room to play with a buddy, and that's where things get really fun. As for the characters, they're naturally the WWE roster. Honestly, I don't know many of them anymore, except the classic famous ones like John Cena and so on, but if you're a WWE fan, you'll probably know everyone who shows up here. The gameplay is pretty complete. You've got multiple buttons to control grabs, special techniques, and of course each character has unique moves just like in real matches. It's definitely a game worth playing. Great graphics, multiplayer with friends, and overall a solid recommended title. Position number 1. And to wrap up this list, we have a very entertaining and highly creative video game. In this game, our goal is to destroy all kinds of cities, villages, and towns, causing as much destruction as possible. To do this, we can assemble our own vehicles. There are hundreds of parts. You can use engines for control, basic pieces to build the main structure, weapons, gears, motors, and tons of components you can combine to create your best builds. With these creations, you'll tear down the entire town. Each mission is a different challenge, you unlock new parts, and you improve your building skills. It's definitely not an easy game. Building things has its degree of difficulty, and you really have to use your brain. A great game for engineers who enjoy blowing things up. The game also supports controllers and has very solid graphics. The only downside is that it's a paid title that only lets you try a demo. If you get the chance to test it, do it. I'm sure you'll like it. Recommended game, and well friends, that's it from me. See you in the next one.